Hi everybody. I'm here today to talk to you about the Chupacabra. So the Chupacabra is a legendary creature that is said to attack and drink the blood of livestock, most notably goats, but I think any livestock will do. The physical description of the Chupacabra has changed over the years, so we'll kind of get into that. But the first account of the Chupacabra happened in the 1990s in Puerto Rico. So it wasn't even that long ago. This is like a fairly new creature. So in that report, a woman saw this creature through her window and she described it as being bipedal, which means it walked on two legs. She said it was 4 to 5 feet tall. It had spikes all the way down its back, um, big eyes, and long claws. So this was not your description of the chupacabra that you see now. This was something completely different. And it was claimed that this creature traveled around in Puerto Rico and would kill and drain the blood from their livestock, specifically the goats. And that is how it earned its name, Chupacabra, which is Spanish for goat sucker. So once the original story was told, it spread like wildfire through Latin America and into the southern states. It even became very popular online among UFO enthusiasts. So they thought that this might be some kind of an alien. So that's kind of interesting. But then in the early 2000s, kind of a new version of the chupacabra emerged, and this was the canine version. So rather than looking like an alien, this looked like a dog, kind of, that had it walked on four legs, obviously, and had no fur, and in some cases looked very burnt. So, unlike most legendary creatures like the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot, the Chupacabra has not, there's not just stories and sightings, maybe pictures. People have actually shot and killed creatures that they believe to be the Chupacabra. So, this has happened mostly in Texas, in the southwestern states, and it's happened more than a dozen times. So, this is kind of interesting. This is why scientists are much more interested in the chupacabra story than some of the other ones, because they can actually get their hands on this and analyze it. So they did take DNA from all of these creatures that have been shot and killed and turned over, and in most cases they turned out to be coyotes, dogs, sometimes raccoons, in one case a fish. So go figure that. I really have no idea. In one case, it was a coyote wolf hybrid, which is very rare but not unheard of. So this woman thought that she had killed a chupacabra, and as it turned out, it was a hybrid animal, which is really interesting to me because if chupacabra exists, it could be some kind of hybrid animal, and we know this can happen because somebody shot and killed a wolf coyote hybrid. So it happens. So when the scientists took the DNA and tested it, they wondered how come most of these animals were killed by ranchers. And ranchers should know what a coyote looks like, or a dog, or a raccoon. So how come they didn't know that these animals that they killed and turned over were what the DNA says they were? Um, and the explanation for that was that they all had mange. So, in all of these cases, except the fish, I'm assuming, these creatures were, they had no fur, their bodies had been um, damaged by the mange. So, they would look different. And even some of the scientists that study these animals stated that it would be very difficult for somebody that knows what a coyote looks like to know that a coyote who was experiencing a severe case of mange is actually a coyote. So that was kind of what the scientists believe is going on with chupacabra. It's actually just regular animals that have mange, which is kind of disappointing. However, what about the animals that are being killed, the cows and the goats and all these other animals that are getting killed by the chupacabra? So scientists have looked into this, and they have also determined that The wounds that are present on these animals were likely caused by some kind of canine animal, and they assume coyotes or dogs. If Chupacabra is a canine, then those injuries being canine injuries would obviously line up. Unless you catch the animal in the act, you don't really know for sure, but science has to go with what information it has available to it and what we know based on past things. And so science says that these animals were killed by likely coyotes or dogs. So I don't know. That's kind of it. I guess it's up to everybody to kind of decide for themselves what they believe. Um, a lot of people view the Chupacabra as nothing more than the world's first internet monster. So before Slender Man, before all of these creepypastas, was Chupacabra. And that is obviously entirely possible. But is it also possible that there's some kind of strange canine creature out there that is responsible for killing livestock and draining its blood? Of course it's possible. So it's really up for everybody to kind of figure out for themselves or do their research and see what they want to believe. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. I do know somebody that that believes that they have seen a chupacabra, and it is a really cool story. And I think it definitely adds some credibility to the whole thing for me. So I want to know if you guys have ever seen one, if you have any stories, if you have any questions, definitely let me know. Otherwise, I will be back on another day with another video about something totally different. Okay, thanks guys, bye.